On today's podcast, I had the Boeckle brothers on. If you haven't watched their first episode, make sure you check it out after this one. We talk about how they started out as luxury flippers here in Las Vegas and have now transitioned into a whole bunch of things. We go over how they have 4x their business. They were already making really good money, and now they're making millions of dollars per year, just making a few different tweaks. So we go into that. We talk about what it's like having Airbnbs here in Vegas and all the headaches and struggles that go along with the regulation. We also go deep into the metaverse and what I actually believe is going to happen in the future here not too shortly. So you want to make sure you guys stay tuned all the way to the end. Now, let's jump into it. Are you looking to grow your real estate investing business? My company, Future Flipper, can help. We've taught hundreds of people all over the country how to flip, wholesale, and buy rental properties. And it doesn't matter where you're at in your investing journey. Whether you're trying to get your first deal or scale your company, Future Flipper can help. We have courses, coaching, and events for all levels of investors. So if you want to take the next step, go to futureflipper.com and book a free consultation to see how we can best help you. Once again, that's futureflipper.com. If you've ever wanted to invest with me on my real estate deals, it's now possible. At Pineda Capital, we're purchasing value-add real estate all across the country. This includes multifamily, commercial, and land development. The best part is, with my network, social media presence, and marketing strategies, we're able to get the very best deals that others don't have access to. You can join in with me on those deals if you're an accredited investor. If you want to learn more, head over to pinedacapital.com to see our current opportunities. Once again, that's pinedacapital.com. Welcome to the Ryan Pineda Show, where our mission is to invest.
I only expect to make money in things that I understand.
Innovate.
It's about believing in the future and thinking that the future will be better than the past.
And inspire. I am much more likely to hit my goal just due to putting it out there.
You're now rocking with the best.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Ryan Pineda Show. Today, we have some repeat guests who are absolutely crushing it here in Vegas. And I wanted to bring them back on to kind of talk about like what their year has been like. They were one of our very first guests on the show, so maybe you didn't catch that episode when we were just getting started, but you definitely got to hear their story and what they've been able to accomplish. So I've got none other than the YouTube sensation, the Boeckle brothers. What's up, dude?
Can't keep us away.
What's going on, man?
I know, dude. You guys are just always in my face with all the content. I'm like, all right, I got to get them back on. We got to see what they're up to.
Sure. We had to, take a page out of your book. You taught us a lot over the last couple of years, and we put it to use. So
yeah. And I love that, by the way. For those of you who don't know, I'll give a brief rundown of Hi, Matt, Landon, and Jesse. So they've been flipping in this market around the time I got started, too. And, we both just were flipping houses, doing our thing. And then, over time, we became friends, and they ended up joining the Future Flipper coaching program. And they were two of the only people that really took to heart what I was saying with, how to really use social media to your advantage, how to really build a big business around flipping houses. And to see you guys from where you were, 2 years ago to where you are today is like absolutely astounding.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, we appreciate it. It's been a long road, though. There's a lot of time and money that goes into it without seeing any sort of revenue come back in terms of monetary. It's all just opportunistic, which is just as good. It's been great.
Yeah, you got to have faith that, all this work and time I'm putting in is going to pay off.
Most people don't. And that's the thing is, as we are starting to teach people and as we've seen you continue to teach people, you give it away because what percentage are actually going to do it?
Right.
And so that we've seen, even being part of Future Flipper, so many students around us, people are hearing and learning the same lessons.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that you probably can better than anyone see how many of those people have like really risen and taken it to heart and
right.
Gone for it.
And that's the thing, like with education and other things, right? Like at Future Flipper anyway, and even on all my socials, I talk about everything. I'm like, hey, if you want to do social media, here's how to do it. It's going to help your business. If you want to flip houses, here's how to do it. If you want to just do 10 flips a year, here's how to do it. You want to do 100, here's the people you need. And then you start thinking, and like even now, and I'm sure we'll talk about this later, you were asking me about the metaverse. Like I told everyone on the call recently, I'm like, here's how I'm going to do the metaverse and take with it if you want, right? And so like I throw out a lot of the things that I'm doing to everybody. And I mean, look, at the end of the day, not everyone's going to do them all. And you don't have to. You only got to do like one of them to have success. But I've seen you guys take everything I've said and at least try it and see how if it's something you want to do or not.
Sure.
Yeah, we've taken a lot of it. It's been a pretty big year since we were on here last. I can't remember when it was. Was it 2019 or was it 2020? When were we on here?
Well, the podcast is only a year, but
Okay.
you were like one of the first episodes. So
Yeah.
it's been probably about a year.
Yeah, man,
So
lots changed.
why don't you give everybody just a 2-minute rundown of who you guys are and then kind of where you were last year and where you are this year.
Sure. So if you guys haven't heard us before, we are the Boeckle brothers. That is our outward-facing brand, but we do own the Boeckle Group real estate. So we're investors, flippers, similar to Ryan. We own and operate a real estate brokerage here in Las Vegas, and we've also now started engaging in the education space and teaching people what we do and helping them start successful real estate careers.
For sure. So tell everybody a little bit about where you were last year and like the progress you've made this year.
Sure.
Yeah, I think last year, I mean, we just started doubling down and truly diving into the social media space and putting not only, time and effort towards it, but quite a bit of money towards it as well to try to create a business out of it. So prior to last year, it was kind of just for fun, showing people what we're doing. 2021, we really started saying, okay, this is going to be a business model. We're going to attack YouTube head on, and we're going to put out, 3 videos a week, every week, and we're not going to stop until it becomes something. And, we finally just in December, so we started in May, and by December, we finally got monetized. So
Yeah.
made a couple bucks out of it.
It's hard. It's hard.
I remember
Dude,
sitting
YouTube
at
is so hard.
It's so hard.
So I remember sitting at it was when we just joined Future Flipper. So it was the first mastermind. So I think it was Q3 mastermind of 2020.
Yep.
And you kind of just got monetized, or you were just at the beginning of monetization. You're like, here's where I made I could have bought a Chipotle burrito this day.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
Just
$4
starts trickling in.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at right now is like, $5 a day.
Yeah.
$4 a day.
Yeah.
So,
The one, and it's funny because I look back at that and I look back at, I did an interview with Steve Trang around that time too. I think I had like 3,000 YouTube subscribers. And I remember telling him like, this is the way. Like I had such complete faith that it was the way to do it, even though there was really no proof. Like the proof was in that, yeah, other people before
Seen
me
other
have
people
done
do
it.
Yeah.
But I personally haven't done crap to that point. But I was like, it's going to work. I know it's going to work. And then I remember at the mastermind saying the same thing. I'm like, guys, look, this $20 I just made, it represents so much more than just $20. Like it's a proof of concept that, enough people want to at least watch something,
Yeah.
But
But it takes a long time to even get to that Chipotle burrito level.
where you can eat lunch for free
It
now.
really does. And honestly, I'm sure you have, and we've talked to a lot of people that we're trying to learn from. We're trying to get better at this as we go. And they tell us about their stories, about how they started and how long it took for them.
Yeah.
Some of these stories last years,
Oh, yeah, dude.
multiple years before they got to Chipotle burrito level. And we were able to do that, hearing from you and having that sort of guidance inside of a year, which I think is kind of incredible.
Yeah.
It just, we've been in flipping houses, and, we've been fairly successful for 2 young guys flipping houses over the last couple of years. And it felt like an accomplishment starting something new from scratch and being at the bottom level and seeing it come somewhat to fruition. Like I think I posted about it. We made 75 cents or $1 on that first day or something. Like, that honestly, seeing that dollar in our monetization dashboard of YouTube felt better than making 20 grand on a small flip at this point.
100%.
It was fun to see.
We proved it to ourselves that this is something we decided to do, and it's going to take a lot of time and effort and money, and we stuck with it. and
Yep.
It worked.
And it's been about a year since you guys have really started doing it at this point.
Yeah, we started May 1st. So
Oh, May.
we
Okay.
were monetized
So, like,
in
7
like
years or
7.5
7
months or something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Cool,
But
man.
now our next question is, now that we're at about that level, we have about 4,000 subs.
Yeah.
How do I get my own plaque?
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
you,
what do
you
we
got
get one of those?
you got to have 100,000 to get one of those.
Yeah.
It's a hike to get there.
I know. I know.
What do you think is the catalyst to growing as quickly as you grew on on YouTube? Is it collaboration? Is it, putting out a different type of value? Because, we're doing a lot on the flipping side of things, but, it's they're not rolling in, on
as
a daily
fast as you'd
basis.
like.
Yeah.
So, man, okay. When I think about business, I think about because we're creating content as a business, we're structuring like a business. I think about how I've grown and what I had initially thought about it. Right, I remember when I first started, I was like, dude, if I could get to 50,000 subs in a year, like that would be mind blowing. Because I knew watching other people dabble in it, like, dude, they'd have 200 subscribers, and they just quit. I was like, if I could just stick with it and get to 50,000 in a year, I'm going to be so happy. And I got to 75,000 in my first, when did I start? Like May. So in like 7 months, I got to 75,000. I was like, this is crazy. And I look back at what I learned from that. And then, the subsequent year, I gained about 100,000 in a year. So I had less growth, really. And just having more data and time to look at it, I think there are two things that happened. One, I got lucky during the timing. I just think that
Phenomenal timing.
yeah, there was literally never better timing in the history of YouTube to start making content. And that was part of the reason I kept yelling it during the pandemic. I'm like, make content, make TikToks, because this is like an extraordinary time to do this. And so I think timing was luck, even though it wasn't really luck. I had an idea of why I wanted to do it. But the second thing is, I think I hit so much volume that I just got lucky on some viral videos, right? Like I would have never thought couch flipping would go
That
viral.
did so well.
And it's continued to do well.
Yeah,
Anytime I make a video on couch flipping, it's a guaranteed just killer view. And I never thought it would have did well, but it was only because of volume, right? And whether it was making 3 TikToks a day or 1 YouTube a day, I was willing to put in the work with no guarantee of return, right? Like it was just like, I think this is going to work and I'm going to just make as much content as humanly possible until it does. And when I get some ideas of what people like, I'll do more of it.
Sure.
And so I started doing more side hustle videos because people loved the couch flipping. And then those have always done good. So volume was huge. But the third thing would be, I would say, is faith. Like at the end of the day, when I look at what I was talking about then with no subscribers, I was 100% belief that it was going to work, that we were going to succeed. And then I look at like guys like Mr. Beast. If you guys ever watch Mr. Beast's old videos, he's like, I don't even know, like 12, 13 years old making a video. He literally made videos for like the first 5 years, and it took him like 5 years to get 1,000 subs or something crazy. But he stuck with it. And then he learned, he got better. Then he got one viral video where he gave a guy like $5,000 or something, and it went viral. It was like his first, and he goes, oh, that's what people like.
That's what I'm doing.
Give it away. Yeah.
But the only way he got to that point was volume.
Yeah.
And so I think in order to grow from 4,000 to getting that plaque, it's just going to be volume and figuring out which videos pop and then doing more of that video. And I don't know that you could just do the same kind of video over and over again and then have quick success. Because that's the tough thing too, is like when you look at real estate investing as a whole, you're like, man, okay, I'm going to dominate the flipping side or the wholesaling or the whatever, right? But then you're still like only giving yourself one chance to succeed. Like Mr. Beast was a gamer. If he only did gaming and he never gave that guy $5,000, he would have never
still
known.
have still would have been a long road ahead.
Yeah, you have to explore other lanes, and that's what I've even seen from people that do so well on TikTok is they start an account, they do any idea they have, and then they have one that goes super well, and now that's their channel.
Right.
And it's a variety and variations of that,
Right.
but it's now their lane, and they have to find that lane. We're kind of in the place where we've tried alternative things. I mean, we're keeping it in real estate, but we need to find that lane that we can then double down on.
Well, and here's the thing. Okay, even if you just stay only in the real estate lane, I was actually talking to Pace Morby about this because he was asking the same thing. I'm like, okay, you've niched down on creative finance, and this is all you want to do. That's fine, but there's a cap to how many people are interested in creative finance, right? And you can own that niche, which he does. And at some point, you got to like maintain the niche and maintain your status as the top dog of that niche, but then start branching out into some other stuff, right? So for you guys, I would say figure out how to own a niche within real estate. So if that is the luxury flips, there's not many guys doing luxury flip showcasing it. Like there's no reason you couldn't own that niche. If it's with, I don't know, like there's wholesaling and stuff. Like guys like Jerry Norton and Kong have been talking about wholesaling for a while. In my eyes, they kind of own that niche. Graham Stephan, perfect example, owns the personal finance niche, right? Like he got there first, he built it, he owns it, and now he just makes content on that and he owns it. So I would like look for a lane that you can own first and foremost, and then once you own it, start thinking about other stuff.
Sure.
Yeah,
I like the luxury flip lane because we love doing it so much. You know, it's just, we love designing them, we love flipping them, and we love the profits that come out of it at the end of the day as well. So it's
and it's a very unique thing that not everyone can even try to emulate, right? So like, there's a great book called Blue Ocean Strategy where it talks about how everybody fights in this little pool of competition, right? And so for us, for a long time, that was in the entry-level houses, right? Everybody's fighting for the same house and then just diminishing profits along the way. But if you go to the blue ocean where no one fights, you just do whatever you want. And so luxury flips are that blue ocean. And even if guys like me and whoever else want to go in it, there's so much ocean that it just doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the profits are better. The competition is less. It's just like overall, it's just a better business model as long as you can execute it.
Yeah.
And it takes a different skill set with design, with capital, with, risk tolerance.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Even analyzation, like you're not looking at the same data points in an entry-level community as you are in a luxury community. You also kind of have to say that
there's gut.
There's a
Right,
feel
there's a
to
gut
it,
instinct
and there's
to
a
it that
way
you
that
don't
you
learn.
can kind of go there and go like, okay, this feels right.
Well,
in
there's
this
just not
place.
comps the way that there are with entry-level cookie cutter homes. You're like, yeah, I mean, this guy maybe he's not flipped and he got this, so I have to pretty much assume what I think a flipped one is worth. Or, this guy, he sold for that, but he didn't have the view. He didn't have like. There's so many factors that we don't think about with just normal flips.
No.
yeah. I mean, the
definitely
one
not.
we just did. I mean, we never would have walked into that house and thought we could sell that for what we actually sold it for this last week without really having that feeling of opening it up and what the space was like and how special that house was.
Yeah, we can actually talk a little bit about that because we did a video last year, I think first quarter, sometime around there, where we were selling our biggest luxury flip yet.
Yep.
And we talked about what we did to it, the design of that house, and ultimately we bought it for thinking we were going to sell it for X, but sold it for Y and made, I think it was like
400 grand or something.
400
Yeah.
and change.
Right.
And so this one,
just crushed that.
Yep.
coming on the heels of that one, was bigger house, better neighborhood, just more going for it as a home and a structure itself.
Right.
Higher price point in the purchase, higher rehab. So we're now taking on more risk,
Right.
more willing to do that, being more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Biggest house, biggest rehab budget yet. Definitely above our
What-
standard comfort zone.
Give us the numbers.
So we bought it for, what was it?
1425.
1425. We initially thought we were going to spend, this is
Like
ridiculous.
200 to
200
250.
into the
Looking
house.
back,
220.
Oh my God.
something
Hey,
like that.
but it goes to show too, like even once you're successful, you still make big errors.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was our inexperience for underestimating it. Even though we worked with people, we didn't just come up with that number. We worked
Right.
with people, and that did sound like a solid number. Although once you're involved in that extensive of a flip,
Yeah.
you should know better that things are going to change. So it started at 200, ended up at like 300.
Yeah.
Yeah, 300,
It's a
325,
big
something like
change.
that. But,
Yeah.
we didn't go over budget on it. What we did is we got in there. There was a bunch of walls. There was like a puzzle when you walked in the door. And all the walls came down. Nothing was load bearing. So it turned into one huge, like 4,000 square foot wide open space. And we're like, okay, this is a whole different house than what we thought we had bought.
Right. This feels different now.
We're going to put VCT in it. We were going to do, certain things to it that would have made it just a standard luxury flip.
Right.
But when we opened that space up, we looked at it and we go, okay, this needs 24 by 36 tile throughout. This needs a 22-foot slider in it. This needs this, this, and this, which added up to about 120,000 over. But when we initially comped it, as a standard flip with a 200K rehab, we thought we were going to sell this thing for like 2 million to 2.1, make a quick 150 to 200 on it, and that's a solid return. That's a solid luxury flip.
Yeah,
you know?
10%.
10%. And, you know, after we put the upgrades in it and did what we did to it, we ended up closing it just recently for 255.
Crazy.
So, you know, that little bit of, you know, thought that went into it and our instinct to over upgrade it at that point once we saw the space gained us another 400,000. So I think we made like 610 on that.
It's crazy. It's freaking crazy.
Yeah.
So even speaking of that, man, like, you know, speaking of owning a niche in a lane, it's like, man, there ain't many people out there making 610 on luxury flips and who are, you know, planning to continue to do that, right? You could do it one time and, you know, anybody can do something one time, but, you know, the true, you know, I guess, idea of success is continually repeating it over and over again. Like, this is what I do, you know, and you guys have proven that. And I think you can continue to prove that throughout your content, right? I've seen guys like Ennis, he's been on the podcast. He tours luxury homes.
Right.
And when he started, he was just touring, you know, I don't want to call them normal, but like $2 million homes, right?
Sure.
And like people are like, this is cool. Then he just films a 4 million, then a 5 million. And now the guy won't tour anything like under 40 million.
Yeah.
You know?
This got to be a mega mansion now. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
And it's just not worth his time. And so he like scaled up because he realized people like this. People like these luxury tours, and they like them as they get more and more crazy. Mr. Beast the same way. He gives 5,000, then he gives 10, then 100. He's like, now I can't give away less than $1 million without people.
I just watched an entire. I watched all of it because it's so intriguing to watch. You know, he did the Squid Games one, which was awesome to see, and then he did one where there's I think 4 guys, a box of $1 million. You had to put your hand on it. Last person to take their hand off the box
Keeps it.
and it's like such a simple concept, but so intriguing to watch, and you can't turn away from it. You got to see who wins.
Yep. Yeah, I think another good example is my friend Erica Kohlberg. I saw her a couple of months ago. She's the girl on TikTok now that does the lawyer stuff. Like Erica reads the fine print. And,
I know. Yeah. I've seen
yeah.
that.
And so like she finds all these little like tactics you can use to get free stuff from these big companies. So anyways, she had no TikTok. She had like 200,000 on YouTube. So already a successful creator, but you know, no TikTok, maybe like, I don't know, 20,000 on Instagram. And all of a sudden she starts making these TikToks where she's doing like the little skit back and forth, but like everyone's done those skits. Like they're not anything new that anyone's never done, but she added a little twist to it. She was like, and I'm a lawyer and I read the fine print. This is why. It was just like this little twist to the same skit that everyone's always done. And all of a sudden, it went freaking bananas. And I remember I was texting her. She got to like 250,000 in a week. And she goes, TikTok's crazy. I should have been doing it sooner, like you were telling me. And I was like, literally, make that skit every freaking day. Like, just find any skit, like, just do it over and over again. Dude, literally, she got $1 million in like less than a month. Then she got, I think she's at like 6 million in like, I want to say 3 months.
She just has such a relatable way to tell each story too, because she tells it from a person who didn't know about it. And her sign out to every single story that's just repeatable and she just iterates is, wow, how did you find out about that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's because I follow Erica on TikTok. And it's every time.
Erica's a lawyer. She reads the fine print.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she got like 2 million Instagram followers now. It's crazy, dude. It's freaking crazy. And we were talking about it. And it's going to be interesting what she chooses to do now with the following. Because we were talking about ways that she could build her business up through it and stuff. But it goes to show, right? She owned this thing that everyone's done before. Luxury tours are nothing new.
No.
House flips are nothing new. But how do you make it unique in your own way? And she found a way to do it on accident, right? It's not like she thought that it was going to be this crazy plan.
Stumbled into it.
Yeah, she was just messing around. She saw other people do this style. She had her own twist and boom.
Yep.
So I've even thought about that for my own, like, okay, what's the next phase? Like, okay, I got to where I got. How do I get to the mega level, right? Like what niche or thing do I want to do that makes me unique? Because I think my exact plan that I've been using is just volume, good content, just value. And I think I'll continue to slowly grow the way I'm growing. I think the last year proved that, but it won't get me to the viral next level. So I'm looking at different ways I can do things a little bit different.
Take some leaps instead of steps. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think going into the different, avenues of entrepreneurialism or business, like the metaverse is a way that you could take it to the next level, right? I mean, now
Right.
you're appealing to, we're talking about brick and mortar real estate where we flip and we could look and touch. You're going into designing homes and buying land in a digital world. I mean, tell us about that.
Yeah, dude. So once again, kind of like Erica's and everyone else's, like, it's not like I looked at the metaverse and I was like, I'm going to own this. Like, this is going to be my niche. It was just like, this is intriguing. Like, let me know more. Like, if Facebook feels the need to change their entire name, it must be pretty important, right?
Sure.
And already having friends in crypto, just like, I'm like, all right, let me go run around these worlds just for myself to see what the hype is. And, you run around, you do it. Then you start talking to other people who are like already in it and thinking about the future. I'm like, okay, I get it now, because this isn't just about, hanging out with your friends and sitting in some virtual room together. That's not fun. People ain't going to do that. People have the misconception that like we're all going to just sit at work in the metaverse. Like
With the Oculus on.
yeah, like maybe one, like, I don't know, but I don't see it that way. Like, for example, right, we're in real estate. EXP has their like little Sims game that is their metaverse for how people. I've never met an EXP agent who hangs out in the EXP metaverse, like just networking.
Do
like,
they have that?
Yeah, they do. They've had it for a long time, and I think they're ahead of their time. It's just like I just don't think that's how people are going to use the metaverse. So the way that I look at the metaverse is like, it's the next evolution of social media. Social media was the evolution of, hanging out and meetups and all these things, right? Like before, okay, if you and I wanted to go do real estate together and there was no social media, in order for me to find you, we'd have to go to a local meetup or an event or a seminar, right? Tony Robbins, these guys been making killings off throwing events and seminars, right? Then social media comes along and makes it very easy to connect and find other people, right? Now people, if you're dating, do it through social media. Like that's 90% of relationships are done through social media on dating now. 10 years ago, that would have been weird.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, this is changing quick. What's the next evolution from social media? Well, Facebook's already telling you. They're like, it's the metaverse. So what's it going to look like? Well, I think there are two ways that this is going to play out. The first way is that Facebook, YouTube, Google, well, they're the same thing, Apple, all these big companies are going to create their own version of the metaverse. Like they all already did it. Well, they haven't done it, but they're working on
Their own worlds.
their own worlds. Because to take a step back, when you look at what Netflix did, Netflix, beat out Blockbuster, revolutionized streaming, right? Then they were by themselves. It took all the other companies a long time to catch them. And they haven't even caught them. But like Apple then released Apple TV years later. Disney Plus just came out. Right. Like they're so slow. They just came. ESPN. Now you're seeing all the networks, the Hulus. All these guys came after, and as a way to consume content. You see TikTok come along and revolutionize short form content. Guess what happens? Facebook copies them. Instagram, YouTube, they all copy them. And if you just see that the metaverse is the next target that everyone's going to copy, you know that, okay, this is going to happen. But there's a big difference in the metaverse this time around is that people don't need Facebook and YouTube and social media as these places to hang out and create content and to build their business upon. Because if I look at my business right now, yeah, I've got my real business, but the way that I get traffic to my business, I don't own.
You have to use those.
I use Facebook, I use YouTube, I use whatever this is streaming on. And I use their turf to get my traffic to my real world business. And I can do that once they create their metaverses, but there's also decentralized ones where I don't have to use anybody's turf.
Right.
I own the land. Nobody can ever take it from me. They can't suspend my account. They can't censor me. Like that's the problem with a lot of these people who only have one platform. The moment they ban you or shadow ban you or censor you,
you're done.
Your business is over.
Yep.
I've seen it happen many times. But with decentralized, nobody can do anything, right? And the other part of it is you can get paid to do whatever you want on there. So right now, right? It's super cool that you guys made a Chipotle burrito. Like the YouTube's paying you to do their thing, right? But YouTube's making a killing off you, and that's how they do it. But with this,
Kind of cool to know though.
yeah, it is cool. So decentralized though, what if you could just make your content, make all the money, do whatever you want, and that's like where it's going.
Yeah.
Is in the end, these metaverses are going to be places where you can build your business, like literally a 3D configuration of your business. It's going to be a place where people can go buy your products. It's going to be a place where people can have an event where they can, play games. There's going to be all these things that they can do, and you can charge them to do within the metaverse. And you're going to own 100% of it. Nobody can ever take it down. And you're going to be able to, do whatever you want. It's crazy. Have you ever wanted to invest in real estate, but you didn't have the time to find deals yourself? That's where Fundrise comes in. Fundrise is a crowdfunding platform that has transacted over $5 billion in real estate and has over 150,000 active investors. While many funds, like my own, require accredited investors, Fundrise allows anyone to invest with as little as $500. If you'd like to learn more, check out fundrise.com. Once again, that's fundrise.com. Are you looking to find off-market real estate deals? One of the best tools my team uses is Batch Leads. With Batch Leads, you're able to pull data, manage lists, and send text messages. On top of that, you can get nationwide access to the MLS to get pictures and comps. My team has used Batch Leads to get some of our best deals, so I know it works. If you want to start today, you can get half off your first month by going to batchleads.io and using the promo code Ryan. Once again, that's batchleads.io, promo code Ryan for half off your first month. Now, back to the show.
I guess my question towards it is, can there be a saturation of different worlds and metaverses that people always create, and then how much money have you spent on one so far, in one platform so far, where someone comes along and creates a new one and everyone goes there, how much is your land worth at that point?
Right. So it's very similar to what happens in the real world and social media. So remember, the real world was the first version, social media is the second version, metaverse the third version. Yeah. So in the real world, people have asked us, like, well, you could just create new metaverses. Land is infinite with that. I'm like, well, land's infinite in the real world too, right? Like all the land between here and California is not worth anything.
Right.
The reason it's not worth anything is because there's no people there. And so at the end of the day, we as humans, I don't know what the percentage is, but how much of the earth do we actually use and live on?
Yeah.
What,
very, very little.
10 to 20%, right?
Coastlines, pretty much.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, there's more than enough land, but people don't pay for it.
Sure.
In social media, the same is true, right? Like there are emerging platforms that are hot. It was Facebook first. Everyone was on Facebook. Then they all left. They went to Snapchat.
Right.
They went to
Vine
and then now you have TikTok, right? Like, so people are always moving to the next big thing. But then there's still the people that remain on all those platforms. Like, it's not like it just died. Some died, but some remained and adjusted and adapted. So when we look at the metaverse, the same thing will happen, right? There's these initial ones like Decentraland and Sand who are first, and people will buy there, and people will, do what they do, whatever. But at the end of the day, there will be more that people go to that fit their needs better. I think there's going to be metaverses for real estate investors, for gamers, for athletes. Like there's going to be these different niches where it's like, oh, I'm interested in sports. Like I want to go hang out with all the sports people. That's where they're at. I'm interested in business. Where's the business metaverse? I don't want to play games. Like I want to network.
Sure.
That's how it's going to play out.
Yeah. I think so. That could happen. I think also there'll be, just like you see social media platforms come and go, which we're talking about, there'll be optimizations in them that will drive new traffic. So obviously if you put Facebook next to MySpace,
right?
It's like, well, obviously I want to use Facebook because MySpace looks like a dinosaur compared to that.
Yep.
So as they continue to optimize either the way that you engage with it, the resolution of things, how real life it actually feels, people will gravitate towards the latest and the greatest.
Yeah. So like the way I look at it too is Fortnite is a great example of a metaverse that people don't realize is a metaverse. It's a game first and foremost, but people pay money to upgrade their character, to get new clothes and skins and, whatever, right? and then they're holding concerts in the metaverse. Like they had a Travis Scott.
The Marshmallow concert.
Yeah, like they're holding concerts where people hang out.
Yeah.
And guess what? Like when you go to play games with your friends, it's cool. Like you guys are chatting, you guys are playing. Like it's a
hanging
great
out.
place to hang out.
Yeah.
Right. So to me, when I look at like, but here's the deal with Fortnite, you own nothing.
Mhm.
Fortnite owns it all. They want to kick you out. They want to
You're
delete
gone.
your character. They do that. That's what. Same thing with Facebook and YouTube
Mhm.
and these guys.
Mhm.
With the other ones, that can't happen. So
So no censorship, there's no regulations as to what you can do.
well, I mean, whoever creates that metaverse is going to be able to dictate the rules, but it's not like anyone can go take your land.
Right.
You own it. It's on the blockchain. It will never be taken from you. So whereas my podcast and YouTube channel could get deleted tomorrow.
Sure. We say the wrong thing, it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone, right? Start talking about the vaccine, it's gone.
Yep.
So, nonetheless,
Edit that out.
I'll leave it in. I don't care. So, nonetheless, I think that's going to happen. And I also think that games are going to be a big part of this. And that's why I'm so into crypto gaming now, because I just don't see people hanging out online for the sake of just hanging out.
Just to talk. We got
I
to be
don't-
doing something.
That to me is a Zoom call. Like, okay,
Yeah.
a Zoom call is a way to just talk, but nobody hangs out on a Zoom for like 5 hours.
Mhm.
We have an
As soon
agenda.
as it's done, you're off.
Yeah.
you don't want to be on it for any longer than you have to.
So that's why I think in order for these metaverses to get traffic, there's going to be a gaming element to it. And guess what? Like a big thing you're seeing with these metaverses is called P2E, play to earn. So like they're incentivizing people to stay on the metaverse to play and make money. And with Fortnite and stuff, that doesn't exist. Like the more you play, it's not like you get paid. Like,
No.
yeah, your character can get upgraded and whatever, but on the blockchain, what if by playing and winning these games, you get NFTs with these
Mhm.
things, right? And you can either make your land better, you can make your character better, or you can sell them to whoever wants what you
Sure,
have.
Sure.
And now you're making money by hanging out there.
Yeah, the making money of aspect is very interesting. I was like kind of struck when the concept of a rental property could exist in the metaverse, where you either have maybe like a commercial space or
Yep.
a space that people want to actually place maybe their business or whatever they want inside of your property in the metaverse,
Yep.
because whatever that area is so desirable.
Yeah,
And you make passive income that way.
yeah, it's no different than the real world.
No.
Like if you have a desirable piece of land where people are around and
Mm-hmm.
people want to be near it, guess what? That's a good ad.
Yeah.
It's worth a lot of money.
It's worth a lot of money depending on
Insane.
whether you sell it. Dude, it's like, think about this. Like the reason people pay me to, sponsor a video is because of the traffic and the eyeballs.
Yeah.
They know that the right people are watching this video. The metaverse is literally the same thing. There are the right people in that metaverse. Okay, if this is the business metaverse, land here is going to be more valuable to the people who want to do advertisements for business.
Right.
Yeah.
For high-end products, for luxury products, for
Yeah,
any type of business.
think about marketing. It used to be, okay, man, like we got to advertise in the newspaper. We got to advertise on
Yeah.
billboards, then TV. Then it was like, okay, we'll advertise on Facebook ads and then influencer marketing. And it will keep doing that into the metaverse.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah.
think-
Nike just bought, I forget what they're called, but they just bought this big NFT company because Nike sees it. They're like, we need to get Nike in front of people in the metaverse.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy.
They're going to release shoes that you can only see
Yep.
in your VR headsets and
Yeah.
stuff that you can only wear in metaverses.
Yeah, and
things
that was like the whole NFT collection. It was like fashion and
Yeah.
shoes and stuff, and like they were making these crazy digital shoes
Yeah.
that couldn't exist in the real world. Nike's like, we'll just throw a swoosh on those, and
we're still way too entrenched in our real life real estate business activities to go digital yet, but
Well,
soon enough, hopefully.
well, okay. Here's the last part of that: is I think it's still so early. This is what I told people on the call. I'm like, guys, do not go out and buy all this metaverse real estate because I'm all hyped up about it.
Yeah.
You're addicted to it.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, guys, don't do what I do. Like, I've been thinking about this for a year now, and I'm just now finally like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna do this. It's still so early. I think it's like, it could be 5 years before, like at the earliest, where we're now like doing what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
But if you can get ahead of it,
Sure.
there's a lot of money to be made.
Yeah. I still like encourage people to go just explore it and find out what it is for yourself. Find out if you're interested in it. But
You got to know about it, right? Because it's where the world's
it's-
going.
it's
So you
fun.
gotta know a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at social media and stuff. Like, if somebody's not on social media at this point, you're like, this guy covering up a murder. Like, what is
Right.
this
You're getting
guy's?
left
Kind of weird.
Yeah, you're weird. Like, what do you? Why are you not on social media? There's something you hiding. Like, what's the deal? And I think it'll be like that down the road. You know, where it'll be like, what metaverses do you like to hang out in? Like,
Yeah.
where can I find you?
Oh, you're unplugged?
Yeah.
Whoa.
But it would tell a lot about you. You'd
Sure,
be like,
right.
okay, that's kind of who you are. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Which one's that?
Oh, I'm just saying,
some
like,
fake one.
if you're not involved, like, it is going to be a little bit
Weird.
strange. Way into the future, maybe not even that far. It's going to be weird if you're not engaged.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what's the next step for you guys? I mean, like you're talking about, you know, growing your business, and you guys had a record year this last year and made all these millions of dollars. Like, what from here?
So big part of that has been seeing the way you and other people turn it around and face that success and information back towards the people that listen and follow and want to learn. So it's back into educating people that want to learn what we do. So that was something that we just started. We launched January 1st was the official opening of the Boeckle Brothers Academy.
Yep.
And we've kind of dug into what it is that we do and the special ways that we do it that makes it different from everyone else. And for those that find value in learning those specific ways, we want to be open to teaching people.
Yeah.
And so that's a big thing for this year that we want to continue to grow and gather students, create a community, because we've benefited so much by being a part of yours and other communities by just the people you meet.
Right.
Regardless of the content and the information that you serve
Yeah.
up, it's the network. So we want to create that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the collaboration side of things and the transparency. You know, we do want to give back. We do want to educate because we've, you know, been blessed with what we've done, what we've been given, and the opportunities we've been given. But the transparency and the education side creates more opportunities for everyone as well. And I think that's something that we look forward to seeing what comes out of it.
Yeah, for sure. So you're going to do that. Obviously, you're going to continue to make content,
Oh, yeah.
grow that.
Oh, yeah.
What about on the real estate side?
Yeah, so we've turned a couple of our rentals into fully furnished rentals, and then now we're back to 30-day plus Airbnbs until they legalize them here in Las Vegas. So this year, we need to, for tax purposes and for long-term wealth building purposes, we're looking to buy probably 20 to 25 buy and hold properties. Hopefully,
Here in Vegas.
here in Vegas. Hopefully, most of them going towards the Airbnb side of the business. But that's something that's really on our mind that we want to attack head on this year is more long-term wealth building assets.
Yeah. So you told me before that, you know, you did an Airbnb in one of these areas that they didn't allow, so they shut you down, and then you converted it to a long-term rental, but furnished.
Furnished.
Yep.
So what was like the price difference between those?
It's a pretty
It's crazy.
serious premium. I would say we probably generate 25% more in rents just by putting some furniture in there.
Yeah.
And we've done that even in future rentals after that one that we discussed on purpose. We've decided, okay, this one we're going to buy as a furnished rental. We know we can't Airbnb it, but let's say it rents for probably $3,000 a month on normal unfurnished year-long tenant.
Yep.
We could probably get $4,000 a month renting it with furniture. And then we've just discovered, since Airbnb isn't allowed short-term in Vegas yet, but 30-day plus is,
Yeah.
we put that same property up and we're getting now $5,000 a month for that. So it's even farther into the premium.
So you're putting them on Airbnb and just waiting for a month rental.
Yeah, minimum
Yeah.
30 days. So
Yeah.
you can't even book it less than that or look at it less than that. And we just put it up 2 weeks ago, and we have someone now from the middle of this month all the way through the end of March. So
Most
Oh,
of
wow.
the interest is over a month.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. Yeah.
They're coming here to do a project or
Yeah,
something.
they don't want to commit to a full year, but short term is too short for them.
Right. Once again, owning a little niche, right?
Yeah.
Like how many people are offering that type of thing? I was actually thinking about that model for my personal house. You know, whenever I move out, I'm like, do I just want to sell this or do I want to just keep it? It's already furnished. Like freaking
True.
just keep the furniture. Like, I'm not taking it with me.
Right.
No, if it's a house, it
Yeah.
belongs there.
And you
Yeah.
have the basketball court and the barbecue, and
Yeah.
you have a pretty sick house for Airbnb. And that's
Yeah.
one thing that we do look for with our properties is, that Airbnb amenities such as, definitely has to have a pool. This one house has 6 bedrooms, so we could fit a lot of people in it.
Right.
We have one that we're in escrow to buy right now that's 4,000 square foot. It's kind of like a big compound, has 7 bedrooms, half court basketball court, big pool.
And you're buying this straight out the gate, knowing you're going to Airbnb it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're buying it just as a 10% down investment property.
Nice. Where's it at?
It's off of Blue Diamond.
Okay.
So it's right near that 10 minutes away from the airport, 10 minutes away from the strip, right next to Target and all the food over there.
Yeah.
Kind of where
So-
there's like some vacant lots and stuff
Yeah.
scattered around.
You're not
so it
going to have
doesn't
neighbors
on you.
complaining.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
Do you look for that just being like more secluded instead of being just in your big neighborhood where everyone's complaining?
Yeah, because I think if you're looking, put yourself in the shoes of somebody that wants to rent and come to Vegas to rent a house. If I'm not going to be on the strip, staying in a great hotel room, and I'm not going to be surrounded by all of it, and I'm staying at a house, why does that house need to be next to any particular thing? I just want that house to be as cool as it can be, because I'm going to have to get in a car to go to the stadium, to go to a show, to go to dinner.
Right.
Whatever. I already signed myself up for that. So that house can be a little bit like secluded from a neighborhood or something. It doesn't really matter as long as the house is sweet.
Yeah.
But also that first one, when we got caught, we have a video on it. That was booked out for like 5 months straight right out of the gate. It's a super nice house, centrally located near the airport with nice amenities. But right away, the neighbors
They got pissed.
called, right away. So not having those neighbors right on top of you, I think, is a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, my buddy, I remember he had like 30 Airbnbs, and he was running them friggin' under the table. And, he got some caught, but his whole strategy was just being like these neighborhoods where you got huge lots, people are like far from each other, and he's like, that way we just don't really have headache, doesn't matter to them. But if you're in an HOA or something, you're pretty much toast.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Going back to this one that's in escrow, kind of towards the gamer side of things and the crypto side of things. We have a company, I have a buddy who does esports, and he's like, dude, I could put gamers in that house as a gamer house for at least 10 or 12,000 a month right out of the gate. So it's like, you kind of start thinking of those opportunities with these houses too. And that's never really happened before, where these gaming teams rent these houses for super high amounts and they just play in them all day. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Corporate rentals are big too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
Having, events, like your house is a great place to have a company come to have an event.
Right. Yeah, something to think about. I just hope that Vegas changes their rules so we don't even have to like worry about like, is this going to be okay? Is that going to be okay? Like, what do you think is going to happen?
I'm thinking it's going to happen this year.
I think they're going to mimic Henderson. You know, it's already built. It's already put together. They have to do it by, I think, July 1st.
They have to have
was
like a new thing.
The date that they've put out so far. We'll see if that gets kicked.
But even like Henderson, like at this point with their current rules, nobody can really Airbnb anymore because you can't be within 1,000 square feet of someone. And it's just like, they've already got all their licenses. Like the whole area, if you actually look at it, is pretty tapped out.
I know. You look at those green circles and try to find one that's set apart. That's why I think for those that want to do it, once the floodgates open in Vegas, you're going to have to be on it right away.
It's going to be floodgates. It's going to be just first come, first serve, and it's going to be a battle to get to that desk.
And then once it's built up, once the setbacks are there's no space,
right?
There can be no more.
Yeah.
I just think like, let it be a free for all. Like at the end of the day, I would definitely say the HOAs have control. Like, hey, if your HOA doesn't let you Airbnb, tough luck, right? But if you don't have an HOA, let people like. That's why they don't have an HOA, so they can do whatever they want, right? And I think, for instance, I have 2 or 3 in Henderson that I bought, and I was like, oh man, these would be tight Airbnbs. Like, let's see. And I'm like, there's one that's 900 feet away. I'm like, dude,
it's that close.
Yeah, I'm like, we can't. What's the exceptions here?
I know.
And there's none.
Yeah, there's none. I'm like, literally, there's no how. There's not. It's one guy. So dumb, dude.
The whole
so what are you gonna do with it?
I don't know yet. I think I did a YouTube video on it. It's just now done. I might freaking, who knows? Maybe I'll flip it. But my plan was to initially just rent it out long term or furnish it like you guys are doing, do a 30-day rental and just, be done with it. Like, I
Let
don't
it
know.
appreciate.
Yeah, just let it do its thing. But I lean towards keeping it just for the taxes. But I just think the whole thing's dumb. I'm just like, I've already experienced it with Big Bear too. Like, at the end of the day, people complain about there being no inventory. It's like, there's no inventory anywhere. Like, it sucks for everybody.
Yeah.
You think it's just like you're the only one with this problem? Investors have a tough time getting houses
We
now.
all do.
Yeah, like, you ain't the only one with this problem. Then they're like, oh, the hedge funds are buying all these up. Well, yeah, you complain that there's no rentals for rent, right? Who's going to buy the houses to put them up for rent? Somebody's got to do it, right? So the hedge funds do it. Then people complain about the hotels and this stuff. I'm like, well, yeah, because freaking you don't let Airbnb. It's just like everyone complains about something. I'm like, let it all be a free-for-all.
Let it happen.
Yeah.
But the hotel's got to make some money off. The city's got to make money. The hotel's got to make money.
I'm
so
fine
I
with
think
that.
That's where it's going.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, tax it. That's fine.
Figure out $1 and
Right.
tack it on and let us go.
Right.
Let us do it.
Yeah.
Why does it matter if there's one next door to each other? It's more
That's
tax
better.
for the city. Yeah, it's better for the city.
It's better for the city,
hotels.
and it's better for, those two people. It's like, oh,
Right.
cool. Both of them are doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully, I think they'll finally adjust as time goes on, because one thing I always do is I study history about how all these things played out. And that's why, like, my feelings about the metaverse are what they are. Just thinking historically how this has happened. But I was reading the book about Uber and how they got started. And basically what Uber did was super cutthroat. They were just like, we're going into every city. I don't care if they say it's legal or not. We're just doing it. And so they would go into each city, and then they would be like dodging the city officials and all this stuff. And like, literally, they just blanketed the whole city with Uber drivers and incentives to get them to sign up, so that there were so many drivers that the city couldn't do anything about it.
They got too
Yeah,
big.
they
to
got-
take down.
They got too big, and the taxis tried to fight them. Everyone tried to fight them. But at that point, they grew too large, and there was nothing anyone could do about it. And then, look, you've got Uber everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, you've got Lyft. It's a great thing for society. The fact that I can just go on my phone and have a car here in 5 minutes is amazing.
It is.
Right. And if you don't want to go stay in a hotel with a global pandemic going on and be around a bunch of people, and you want to stay in a single home with your family, I mean, it's not a bad, it's not a bad thing to have.
Well,
as
think
a
about
city.
it too. Like, all the thing, like, okay, the city makes taxes. That's great, right? It attracts more people to the city, right? Because there's more places to stay. People can now afford to go travel as a family. Dude, if you try to travel a family of, 6, getting 3 hotels is super expensive.
Oh, yeah.
1 Airbnb is the same price.
Right.
Right. So somebody who might not have come to Vegas is now coming because of the affordable cost. Another one is just like the people buying the houses now have some strategy. Like, the reason I haven't kept rentals in Vegas because they just don't pencil out, right? Like, on long-term rent, you might break even or maybe even lose money based on just where rents are compared to what we have to buy them for. And it's like, if I could keep more rentals, I totally would if you gave me another option to, like, monetize it.
Sure.
And, what does that do? It makes people buy more houses here in Vegas. It makes prices
more
go
money in their
up, it makes
economy.
more money,
Yeah.
like, gets things going.
I agree.
So I don't know, dude. It annoys me just thinking about the political side of things. I'm becoming
Hopefully
old.
a year from now, we'll sit down and talk again about how easy it is now.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
how it's
right.
all rolled out and it's all good.
You got
It's crazy,
100
though,
Airbnbs?
It's crazy though, because you see hundreds of them on Airbnb here in Vegas, and obviously they're not legal because it's not legal here in Vegas.
Right.
And we put one up and get caught within 10 days, after all the hard work. What
are the odds?
So it's like, man, made it so hard on us.
Luck of the draw, man.
Yeah. Luckily we got out of that though.
It's all good.
That's funny, dude. Anything else you guys working on interesting?
Coaching, we're doing Airbnbs and rentals, and we really are trying to systematize our team a little bit more, delegate a little bit better in house, bring more people in to help us grow. So 2020 was kind of a year where we brought some more people in, which helped us scale. 2021 we scaled, and now we're going back to like, okay, we scaled so much with the same amount of people, where now we need to figure out how to hire more people.
Right.
So I know that's a battle you probably always face as well.
Yeah, literally, I just keep our job postings up forever.
Just
Yeah.
always an open door
Yeah.
to come
Yeah,
in.
hey, if you got talent, We'll find a space for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we have the same 4 people as when we were making, a couple $100,000 a year. Now we're making a couple million a year with the same amount of people doing this.
Everyone's spread a little thin.
3, 4, 5 times the amount of work. So we're trying to
We're gonna work on
systematize
that work-life balance this year.
Yeah.
Dude, that's why we got the wealthy way, baby.
That's right.
That's right.
I love it, dude.
Yeah, I've been playing with it, dude. It's fun to play with. It keeps you accountable, and I like the race planner, but this makes it even easier. So
Yep. We're going to be adding some updates to it. We're building it as a mobile app. We're going to be gamifying it and creating cool little challenges within it to get people, motivated. So kind of like how Andy Frisella has a 75 hard. I'm building out a wealthy way version of that I think is going to be a little less intense than more work-life balance oriented than just, killing myself. So
everyone that does that though speaks volumes of it.
Yeah,
I will say.
No, they love it. And I actually got to talk to Andy backstage at Thrive about a month or so ago. It was cool, like picking his brain. But you just see how some people are wired, dude. And he is just like always like ready to go, angry, intense. I'm just sitting here like chilling, like just talking. And I'm like, dang, this guy is he lives.
Aggression.
Yeah, he doesn't live 75. Like it's not 75 hard for him. It's like life hard,
lifetime hard.
Yeah, he doesn't stop it. And that's kind of my only critique is like 75 hard's great, and it's like a great challenge for you to like mentally, see what you're made of.
Sure,
but it's not obviously sustainable.
No,
right? Like for me, with the wealthy way, I'm just trying to like create sustainable lifestyles and schedules and things for people to execute just like on a daily basis.
Super helpful, honestly. Putting your goals and putting, I this morning I typed in, what you're grateful for and your weekly tasks, and it's like you don't think about those, how important those are until you sit down, write it out, and put it in front of your face. Like you could easily let it go by day after day, but when you actually sit down and execute and write those things down, it does. You have a complete mindset shift immediately after doing it.
Well, the thing is just being simply reminded, like every day. Like that's the thing. Most people, they set a goal or they're like, I'm going to do this, and they forget. And it's easy to forget. I mean, we got so much crap going on in the world in our lives. Like, but if you just open it up every morning, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot. That's why I'm doing this. This is what I need to do. Okay, cool. I'm going to get that done today. And then really, this is what makes the difference for everyone in business and life is just, it's those daily things, man. If you can accomplish your task every day, you ain't going to notice it right away. But over time, boom, you're going to have something crazy. But yeah, dude, no, it's been good having you guys back on.
Thank you.
I'm super stoked about all your success. I'm stoked that, we're in so many endeavors together with, Future Flipper, Pineda Capital, Lunar Ecomp. I mean, we got a lot of things going on, so I'm excited to see all the things we do.
Yeah, I think I'd like to put ourselves in a position of some challenges for the next time, maybe next year.
Yeah.
So what are we thinking? YouTube-wise, 25,000 subscribers?
He's
No,
gonna triple that.
dude.
He's gonna
Yeah,
triple
no.
that. When you say
50,000?
that-
You're
100,000?
you can't walk back into here without a plaque.
Oh,
Okay.
That's the
okay.
goal. That's
All
it.
right,
Only
so
way to
you,
get through that
You
door.
guys got to
Yeah.
help us get there. 100,000 subscribers
That's
on
our
YouTube.
pass to come back in.
Yeah, it
and
is.
get there.
That's your NFT.
Okay.
So
20 new rentals this
20
year.
rentals, okay. That's good. Totally can do that. You
Yeah.
guys can get to 100K.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
No, I know we can. Yeah. It's just
Maybe,
when. It's just a matter of when.
it's going to be the next time you walk through that door. We just said it.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, make sure you guys go give them a subscribe, give them a follow on YouTube. We will link to their channel down below in the description. Guys, it's been fun.
It's always a pleasure, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Everyone, thanks for subscribing to this channel. We'll catch you on the next one.
Peace, guys.
Thanks for watching The Ryan Pineda Show. If you want to work with me, head over to ryanpineda.com. You can find my courses, coaching programs, and upcoming events. We also have free resources you can download, so head over to ryanpineda.com.